we finally picked up our Stone Stomper from which got delivered to Tom Price, and I'm just going to whack it on today, so I'll give you a bit of a look at what's involved. This is what comes in the pack. You got all your brackets. I'll show you all these brackets when I fit them up to the actual Caravan and what have you. We went with the covers for the wings, these parts here. So when they're rolled up, when you're not hooked up, you put the covers over them so they're not dangling down, hanging out. And there's the actual roll of stuff, which we'll roll it all out and have a good look at it shortly. Now, what I've already done last night, I got all this sorted out, but that's the bracket that we went with. We had to go with this bracket because there's a couple of different types of bracket. There's one that goes to the tongue, which you unbolt your ball or pin, and it goes under here and up there, and you put your pin back on. That's one type, but because of these bolts and the distance, wasn't really going to be the best for this application. So we went with this one. Now normally this bracket, C-type bracket that fits over your hitch, would be connected to the wings over there that I showed you. This will all make more sense when I bolt it up for you. But the only problem with that is the wings sit down here then, which would go right across our plugs, and we wouldn't be able to plug our plugs in, which was actually Stone Stomper that picked up on that and let us know. So they changed it to this bracket, which virtually just gives you an extension so that it just lifts it up, so it's up over the pin so we can still get to our plugs and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, all I've done is just plop that straight over, put a bolt underneath through it, and clamped it up. This is the wing that I'm talking about. And yeah, if we had got the normal standard one, it would have been down here where the plugs are. So this one here just puts them up and your plugs are accessible. We'll bolt that on. It's just 2 bolts. Easy enough. This is all pretty simple stuff. I've just got a basic toolkit, a couple of spanners and a small 3/8 socket drive socket set, which is going to be plenty to do it. You don't need special tools or anything like that. A 13mm spanner. So I want to get that level. Right there. And you just want to check the tension on these nuts and bolts every so often, whenever you've been on a real rough road, or once a week or something like that. Alright, so that's it, that's done. Covers. Obviously you want the riding facing up the right way and facing out, so that one will be that side. And like that. So that's how it would look when you're driving along not hitched up to your van. Got them covered in red dirt already. So one thing to keep in mind is that they say in here you really want this as high as possible to where your tailgate is. They provide a little extension plate at no extra cost, which would bolt in between the base plate and the wings, which would bring my wings up to here. The only problem with that on the Y62 is they've got the sensors, reverse sensors on them. So I'm not going to worry about bringing them up. I'm happy with how that is now. Right, so I'll get this out and see what the go is. You can tell which way it goes because up this end is little D shackles which will hook onto the brackets on the Caravan, and this end's got all the little clips and they clip on to the wing on the back of the Patrol. And you've got a gap here for the drawbar. So when you order your Stone Stomper, they give you instructions on what to measure, how to measure. You fill out a form and you just fill in all your measurements. So when you measure it up, I've measured to the front here of the stone guard. So one bracket will go on there and that will clip on to the midway point D-shackle. And my next measurement I took from the front here, which will have the bracket on it to hook the actual end of the Stone Stomper onto. So yeah, you get pretty good instructions with it. Step 2 is choosing a fixing point. You've already measured to a certain point when you order the Stone Stomper, so you're not really choosing it, you're actually putting the brackets where you measured to originally when you ordered the Stone Stomper. What I've done here is put the brackets on the D-shackle like that, how they're meant to go. I've measured from the D-shackle to the D-shackle along the actual Stone Stomper. Then I've measured from corner to corner of the Caravan. It works out that the Stone Stomper is about 20mm wider than the Caravan, which I would have done at the time just to give it a little bit more clearance so the rocks can't come up the side. So I've marked me 10mm in from the edge of the bracket, from the hole, and I've just put a couple of tacks in the other side, and now I'm just going to pull it over, put some tension on it, and just make sure that it looks about the same amount of overhang both sides so it's centralised, which that looks pretty good. So grab a texter, and you know, if you pull it over and you think, oh, this isn't pulling out quite as far as the other side, you're just going to have to move the other side across. And the end of the Caravan's just inside that, so I'll put a mark there. That's the end of my Caravan. So now I can take this off. It just makes it easy to sikaflex and screw on without the tension of the Stone Stomper on it. And what I'm going to do is dry fit it first without any sikaflex, hook it all up. If it's all good, take screws back out, sikaflex, screw it up. And I'm just lining it up level with the bottom of the Caravan. So there's my mark, so about there. About level. Well, flush, I should say. Okay. Now that I've got a couple in either side, I'm going to bolt it up and see if it's nice and tight. You really want it nice and tight so it's not sagging and loose. Yep, that's good, it's nice and tight. Now I'm just going to take them off and sikaflex them on. So this is the stuff to use, 11FC Sikaflex. It's a poly, not a silicon. So it's got a lot better adhesive qualities than what a silicon has. Grab this. Alright, good amount, not too much, just a good amount. Okay. Don't over tighten them or you'll strip the thread. Just nice and locked up. Alright, I'll go and whip around the other side. The other thing is, if you're not overly confident with when to stop with the drill before you strip it, you know, I mean, I've been a tradie using tech guns and drills for 20 years, but if you're not sure, then just screw them up until they just sort of make contact, and then just get a little spanner and do it by hand. You get a lot better feel by hand with a spanner, so that you don't over tighten it. You can even use your gun just to tighten them if you're not quite sure. So once we got them on, got them screwed on, got the Sikaflex under it and screwed on, then just wet your finger, spit on your finger, and just run it across just to cork it, make it look all nice and neat. That's nice and tight. That's as tight as I can get it. And the other side same. Run your finger along, cork it. That's it. Now all you're checking is make sure that here you got about the same amount hanging out each side. Just make sure you tighten these up with some pliers. whack a bit of wire through the D-shackle so it can't come undone. I've got to take these mud flaps off and put 2 brackets on here for where this hooks up to. Yeah, I'll put one of these on each side, and then in the centre between them I'm going to buy a bit of insertion rubber from the hardware store and do that, so that under the front of the caravan on that cross member I'll have a whole piece of insertion rubber virtually covering it to act as, yeah, mud flaps, just to stop the mud and rocks and everything, because obviously the Stone Stomper is designed to keep the rocks under, and they're going to force them all up under your caravan. And take off these mud flaps. Now another thing I've just noticed, you won't be able to see it from there, but this part here actually connects to that part. They've got 2 screws there that screw into whatever joiner they got in there, so I'm just going to put a screw back in there. It's actually a join there and up the top, so this end wing comes off. Okay, so in true fashion, nothing ever goes to plan. I mean, in some photos on the website, they have the bracket on the front, and some photos they have the bracket on the back. Instead of mounting it on the front here and having a bracket there like that, I'll put the bracket on the back. That takes up my inch of slack, so I've still got a nice taut one from the car to here, and all it means is a little bit of slack between the stomper, the stone guard and the Stone Stomper, which doesn't worry me. I can, at least now I can open my door comfortably. They recommend to bolt them on, so that way that's taking the force from the car instead of it taking the force from here. Mark it. All the tools I've used for this whole installation is a screwdriver, which I only needed to get these mud flaps off, 8mm spanner to get into the tech screws I couldn't get into with the drill, a pair of pliers, that was just for the tie wire on a D-shackle, your drill. This little tech driver bit comes with the screws in the Stone Stomper kit, so you don't need to worry about that. A little bit of sticker flex, tape measure, that's it. Don't forget, tighten these up. Now, coming in, we'll hook it up. This bit goes over there. Our van drawbar's got a gusset angle bracket underneath to help stiffen up the bottom of the chassis, and that's going to rub on that, and it's sort of pulling it away from the car. So I'm going to take it to an upholsterer and get them to cut a slot in that piece and reinforce it so that that comes up and sits up flush under the chassis.
thank you for watching Jase do the installation of our Stone Stomper. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments or send us a message and he will get back to you. If you are liking our content, please consider pushing the like button or subscribing to our channel, and we will catch you when we are on our next adventure.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, had to reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong.